recently CNBC tweeted out an article that got some people rather fired up. So now this article was titled, 1 in 6 millennials have about $100,000 saved. Here's how much you should have. So now generally this would be a non-confrontational article, right? Oh, we're getting financial planning advice, right? But it happened to hit a nerve with some people, myself included, who has nowhere near $100,000 saved. Now, in their story, they reference a survey from Bank of America. Now, Bank of America, that survey claims that 16% of millennials, or people between the ages of 23 and 37, have $100,000 or more in savings. Well, you know what? That's wonderful. Great. Good job. No, I'm actually really serious, right? In this economic climate, it's actually tough to save a lot of money, especially that amount of money. So I'm actually not going to hate on the people who did a good job, right? If you literally went and saved that money and you forego, avocado toast and lattes and whatever else, and you saved all this money or basically forego essentially living whatever, like, because for me, the only way that I could see that happening if somebody just subsists on ramen and living at their parents, eating ramen, drinking water for 20 years and not doing anything but saving money and working, well, then you can get to a lot of money, right? So for anyone who had to go through something like that or whatever, well, man, you got more fortitude than I am or than I have, and a good job, right? Nice work. Maybe now you can actually enjoy some of that money, right? But seriously though, that's not my issue. Is I'm actually being able to save money. My issue is when people use the success of those people, right, who were either incredibly lucky or incredibly frugal, ended up getting good jobs, et cetera, as a cudgel to beat down everyone else and minimize the institutional disadvantages that plague a majority of our generation. So now, remember, most of us, we are supposed to, according to the article, we're supposed to, by the age 30, right, have the equivalent of our annual salary saved. So for me, I'm supposed to have $36,000 saved at this point, right? So, okay, I ain't got near that. You know what I have? Over $100,000 in debt. That's what I have, personally. So, look, that's the problem, right? This is what most millennials are carrying. And look, the student loan debt, for example, is especially large, right? So for me, like, I pay off my student loans every month, and that balance never seems to go down. Never. And it's because, of course, you have incredibly high interest rates and loans that are designed to never be fully paid off or to take a very, very, very long time to pay off, right? And that's unfortunately what a lot of millennials are facing. Makes it really, really difficult to save when you're carrying 30, 40,000, maybe even up to $100,000 or more in student loan debt. So that's what we have. That's what's happening, right? That's what we have to face. And then you add into that, of course, stagnant wages, prevalence of low-paying service jobs in lieu of, high-paying union jobs. Growing up, getting jobs in the middle of the Great Recession. So we were basically set behind most people. All those things have led to millennials facing unique problems that no other generation has had to face. Which is why we're kind of pissed when we're berated for not having, in my case, thousands of dollars in savings. Okay? And again, I wish I had that much savings, but I guess apparently I'm not all that responsible. Now, Twitter, of course, social media, a lot of people shared their anger at this article, and I want to read some of those. Matt Bronger says, I'm sorry, maybe I'm old and out of touch, but there's no way this is true. Did they only ask the kids on Modern Family? Well, again, 1 in 6. Not very much. DJ Kirkland says, oops. David Mack had said, wait, like in Sims money? Because we can get that much in fake money, not actual real money. More. Jana Shortall says, who, where? I want names because I know none of these people. Look, and most of us don't know any of these people. That's because there's so few of us that actually aren't carrying around a giant load of student loan debt. And again, for those of you who manage to go through school without racking up tons of student loan debt, well, that's wonderful for you. But let's not use your story to bludgeon everyone else. Now, Daniel Ahmad says, they mean to write 1 in 6 millennials have $100,000 in debt? No, that would be the 5 out of 6. Carrie Steele says 5 in 6 millennials have $10 left after every paycheck. Ian Miles Chong says the other 5 owe colleges $100,000. So now, one important caveat, right? So now, and that would kind of explain maybe where some of this 1 in 6 comes from. Now remember, there's millennials that are starting to push 40. Again, I'm 36 years old, so I'm fairly close to the age range, to the edge of being a millennial. A lot of us are near 40. So having a significant amount of savings isn't all that entirely impossible, although it's very, very difficult. And so there are people here, there are millennials in this age range who have become doctors and lawyers and stockbrokers and etc. And so they maybe have made a lot of money and were able to pay back their student loans and managed to get out of debt. No, that's wonderful, right? No, but there's also, for every doctor and lawyer, there's also millennial heirs, people who grew up with their parents that are incredibly wealthy. And so they ended up not having to take out student loans, not having to take out any debt, because they have a whole lot of money. And so there's that fact as well. And I'm pretty sure those two groups, I think, make up the majority of this 1 in 6, or the 16% that end up not actually having any debt. Most of us who, don't have that advantage in life, didn't grow up with that advantage, well, a lot of us are stuck with a lot of debt and no savings. So that anger, justified. Again, I've called us a lost generation before due to the cards that we've been dealt with. Now, look, we deal with it the best we can, which is why, of course, there's an article coming out every week that millennials have killed napkins and Applebee's and diamonds and whatever else, right? No, it's just us responding to the situation that we have been handed and responding to the best we can, trying to conserve our money as best we can and do whatever we can to try to just make it. And so that's something that all these articles tend to gloss over. And it's more of one of those things like, oh, you think you guys got it tough? 1 in 6 millennials have over $100,000. Well, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Well, again, it ignores the circumstances of individuals and basically tries to use that, the people who are successful, and again, no problem with their success, but using that success to try to keep down others and to really draw attention away from the failures of the system. Because again, when you have most millennials, a large majority of a generation that is mired deeply in debt, mostly, again, like I said, student loan debt, and not getting ahead, not buying cars, not buying houses, not having families, well, then that's a gigantic problem and one that needs to be addressed. So the majority, like I said, it is nice to know that some people have made it, but I got to tell you, the majority has not been as lucky. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.